One-man show. Many consulting services are actually delivered by one-man show, a freelance with a net of cooperators that actually doesn't want and doesn't try to build a business, a company, but he's trying to optimize the revenues he's getting from his time. We'll devote some attention to this as well, because many people start from this and then only after that they try to build on the basis of this a separate business. Now, in the case of any freelancer, you're basically trying to change the time into money, and you should always look at this equation. So your revenues will be equal to the number of available hours, how you utilize them, so how many of them are actually utilized to work or to deliver something the customer is paying for. Then obviously your fee per hour, because this will be related to the payable hours we get from here, and any additional revenues you make from things which are not related to your time. So if you have 170 hours and then 30% of them are actually sold and multiplied by 200, you get the basic revenue, and out of this you have to add additional revenues. We will now go briefly through ways to increase each and every one of those components so you can maximize the revenues you're getting from your work as a one-man show, as a freelancer. So let's start with the number of available hours. So the first obviously thing is get new employees. This is an option that's going to lead you to basically building your own company. The problem obviously with that is that you need a career path, a training system, and obviously the increase in the demand has to be permanent. If it is not permanent, then I would rather go for subcontracting. So this is great for temporary jumps in demand. So you don't want to lose the customer. So you're sharing some of the revenues with other freelancers like you, or somebody you can subcontract the deal. Subcontracting obviously means that they do part of the work independently. You supervise it to some extent, but actually they are roughly on the same level as you are. Then the other way to approach this is basically by adding additional hours, by adding a virtual assistant that he is doing some part of the work. This obviously requires you to divide the work into things he can do and obviously the things he can't do. So those he can't do, you have to do it on your own, and the rest basically you move it to them. You have actually a lot of freelancers like this working that have a virtual assistant either in Eastern Europe or somewhere in Asia, and they're supporting them. So you can actually have one freelancer with 10 to 20 virtual assistants that handle part of the work. This is also a very popular model used in direct sales to get the qualified lead. This is a great choice for temporary but also permanent growth, but unfortunately it also means that you cannot scale the things you cannot outsource to virtual assistants. So as long as there is still some work that is simple and you can outsource it to the virtual assistant, you grow. But the minute your time is taken over, so 170 hours taken over by things you cannot outsource, then you basically are stuck and you cannot grow any longer. An option or variation of this is actually creating new products that require only the work of virtual assistants. Now we'll go to showing the ways how to increase the utilization of the available hours.